You are listening to Jason's Billion Dollar Twist by Pocket FM. Episode 3.
Jules and I have been together for years. We just wanted to run a joke on you. I hope you had fun.
Alyssa laughed as she continued, each word cutting sharper than the last, while Jason froze, the weight of the situation pressing down on him heavily. He was simply too stunned to speak. The relationship he thought was genuine had been a cruel game orchestrated by Jules and Alyssa all along. As Jason stood there, grappling with the shock of the revelation, Jules continued his verbal assault, his tone dripping with condescension.
Look at yourself, Jason. You're nothing but a piece of trash. Do you really think someone like Alyssa would want a loser like you? She deserves better. Someone who can provide for her.
Alyssa added with a smirk.
You were just a pawn in our game, Jason. A little experiment to see how desperate you'd be to keep a girl like me.
The air in the locker room thickened with tension as Jason, wounded and humiliated, struggled to find words. Jules and Alyssa's laughter echoed, amplifying the harsh reality of their betrayal. To salvage some dignity, Jason retorted,
Laugh all you want, but at least I've never stooped this low.
Jason stormed out of the room as Alyssa and Jules continued their mocking laughter. The bitterness in his chest was growing, becoming dark and suffocating. He had endured constant insults and humiliation for years, working tirelessly to prove himself. But no matter how hard he tried, it seemed like he would never be enough. As the night settled in, Jason, overwhelmed by the painful events, found solace in confiding the whole incident to his friend, Arnold.
That's messed up, man. I'm sorry for you.
Arnold said with a grim look. Jason smiled tiredly.
It's not just them, Arnold. It's everyone. No matter what I do, I'm always the joke.
Their third friend, Dominic, noticed the gloomy atmosphere in the room and decided to bring some beer to lighten the mood.
Nothing fixes a rough day like cold beer and good company,
Dominic said, trying to ease the air in the room.
Come on,
Arnold urged, handing him a bottle.
It's one drink. Besides, you've earned it after putting up with those jerks.
As they opened the beers and settled in, the night unfolded with shared stories, laughter, and a silent understanding among the friends. Jason felt somewhat better, but the pain lingered nonetheless. Later, Jason found himself lying in bed, his mind still swirling with the unfolding events. The headache from the beer added an extra layer of discomfort, making it difficult for him to think clearly. The dorm room was silent now. Everyone else was fast asleep. The dim light from the window cast shadows on the room, and Jason, lost in his thoughts, struggled to find peace.
You were just Jason. Someone but a piece of trash.
Just then, his phone buzzed with a new message.
Grandpa?
Jason murmured, rubbing his eyes as he opened the message.
Jason, how are you doing, my child? I have a small secret to share with you. You're the heir of the Monteverde family. Your life is going to change in ways you can't imagine.
Jason was starting to think his grandpa had also drunk too much when another message popped up.
I'm transferring $100,000 to your account as your first pocket money. Use it wisely, my child.
With hesitant fingers, Jason typed back a reply.
Are you joking, Grandpa? How can we be rich when we're barely getting by? None of this makes sense.
A few moments later, a reply came.
Believe it or not, my child, our family has its secrets. I've been holding off on telling you, but it's time you know the truth. I understand it's a lot to process, but you'll understand soon. In the meantime, know that I miss you and can't wait to see you on your 18th birthday.
Still skeptical, Jason replied,
I miss you too, Grandpa. But don't play around with me. When are you coming back to our town?
His grandfather responded,
There are still some things I must take care of here. I miss your parents terribly, and I want to pay my respects at their cemetery. I hope you understand, my child.
Jason felt a surge of mixed emotions. His parents, his sister. What exactly happened to them all those years ago? Who was behind their deaths? But before Jason could think more, the drowsiness finally made him pass out. The next morning, Jason woke up with a start. His head was throbbing with all the beer, but then, the memories of the previous night rushed back to him. The conversation with his grandfather seemed like a dream, and a small smile crept across Jason's face.
Grandpa and his jokes.
Jason chuckled to himself. He couldn't shake off the feeling that the entire revelation was an elaborate prank, especially considering the impact of the beer on his ability to think clearly the night before. Determined to confirm or dispel the truth, Jason reached for his phone and scrolled through the messages with his grandfather. As he revisited the words exchanged in the dim light of the dorm room, a sense of skepticism lingered. At that exact moment, he received a bank notification on his phone. Jason glanced at the screen, and his heart almost stopped.
$1 billion has been successfully credited to your bank account.
Jason's jaw dropped as he reread the message. A mix of shock and disbelief crashed over him. After he had finished reminiscing about the last 24 hours of his life, curiosity got the better of Jason, and he sent a message to his grandfather. He was determined to unravel the mystery now.
Morning, Grandpa. About our conversation last night. You weren't joking, were you? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Can we talk more about this?
The message lingered in the air, waiting for a reply that could confirm or unravel the mystery of his grandfather's hidden past. Just then, another text appeared on his phone. This time from his grandfather. It read,
Believe it now, Jason. It's time for you to embrace the reality of who we are. Your life is about to change in ways you can't imagine.
Subscribe to find out what happens next.